Your name on the birth certificate does not mean you're legally a parent. I know that sounds insane. You're married, you planned this baby together, you did donor selection together, you're doing 3 a.m. feedings together. You're a parent every single way that matters. But here's the thing that most LGBTQ plus families don't find out until it's too late. Marriage equality, it can be reversed. Birth certificates, they're just paperwork. And in a medical emergency or custody fight, you could have zero legal rights to your own child, the child you're raising right now. Today, I'm bringing down the legal step that actually protects your family. It's called second parent adoption. And we're covering exactly what it costs, how long it takes, the step by step process, and why every LGBTQ plus family needs this, married or not. Let's get into it. So, here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of same sex couples think we're married, we're both on the birth certificate, we are good. No, you are actually not. Marriage equality was decided by a 5 to 4 Supreme Court vote in 2015. That narrow margin, it keeps LGBTQ plus legal experts up at night. We already saw Roe versus Wade overturned after 50 years. Marriage equality could be next. And family law attorneys who work with queer families, they've seen a massive spike in second parent adoption requests during every presidential election cycle 2016, 2020, 2024. That's not a coincidence. Smart families are protecting themselves before the political winds shift. Now, about that birth certificate. A birth certificate is an administrative document. It's not a legal determination of parentage. Think of it like a receipt. It documents what happened, but an adoption decree, that is a court order. That's legally binding. Every state in the country has to recognize it under the Constitution. Here's where it gets real. Your family's traveling through a less friendly state. Your child needs emergency medical care. The hospital might not recognize the non biological parent's authority to make decisions. They want to see the adoption decree. Without it, you're stuck in a waiting room without your kid that needs treatment. And your spouse is the only one legally allowed to consent. Let me paint a few pictures of what goes wrong. Medical emergency. Your child falls at a playground and needs surgery. You rush to the hospital, but you're the non biological parent. The hospital's in a conservative area. They refuse you to let you authorize treatment. You have to wait around for your partner to drive all the way across town while your child is in pain. Divorce. Your marriage doesn't work out. Without an adoption decree, custody battles become a nightmare. Instead of the court deciding based on your child's best interests, you have to first prove you're even a legal parent. The biological parent could cut you out completely. Death of the biological parent. If your partner dies and you haven't completed second parent adoption, biological grandparents could challenge you in custody. You could lose the child you've been raising. These aren't scare tactics. These are actually situations family law attorneys deal with all the time. So if you're thinking, okay, yeah, I get it. This is serious. You're right. The good news, the solution, more straightforward than you think. Second parent adoption is basically like an insurance policy for your family. And here's what almost nobody tells you. In most states, it's actually pretty affordable and can be done in just a few months. But the process varies wildly by state. Some states make it significantly harder. Some states make it almost impossible for unmarried couples. Let's break down exactly what second parent adoption is, what it costs, and how to get it done. Second parent adoption, also called co-parent adoption, is where the non-biological parent adopts their partner's child without terminating the biological parent's rights. Regular adoption, you have to sever the other parent's rights first. With second parent adoption, you're adding a second legal parent, not replacing one. Who needs this? Lesbian couples where one partner carried using donor sperm, gay male couples using a surrogate and only one partner is genetically related, any couple who used the egg or sperm donors where only one partner is biological, couples where one partner had kids before the relationship, unmarried couples raising children together. Let's talk about money, because this is always the first question. If you file yourself, court filing fees run $20 to $400 depending on your state and county. That's if you're comfortable with the paperwork. With an attorney for an uncontested adoption, you're looking at about $800 to $3,000. This includes the attorney drafting all of those documents, handling the court filings, and representing you at the hearing. Home study, if required, is $700 to $2,000. But here's the good news. Many states waive the home study requirement for second parent adoptions, especially if you've been living together for 1 to 5 years. Total range? Most families spend around $250 to $3,000 total. Compare that to the cost of losing custody of your child. It is definitely a bargain. Some states offer fee waivers if you can demonstrate financial hardship. A few states have sliding scales based on income for home studies. Now, here's where it gets tricky. The rules change depending where you live. States that make it easier. California has the Modern Family Act. If you're the birth parent or used a surrogate, the process is streamlined with no home study. New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, generally LGBTQ plus friendly with established procedures. Illinois, Oregon, Washington, good track records. States with restrictions. Some states only allow second parent adoption for married couples. A handful have court decisions explicitly blocking unmarried couples. Alabama and Utah have additional restrictions. What this means for you. Before you start, research your specific state's requirements or talk to an LGBTQ plus family law attorney in your area. Here's how this actually works. Week 1. Gather your documents. You need a certified copy of the child's birth certificate, your marriage certificate if applicable, donor agreement or contract that you used at a sperm bank or egg donor. This proves the donor waived parental rights. Your ID. Proof of residence. Weeks 1 to 2. Complete background checks. Most states require fingerprint-based criminal background checks and child abuse registry checks. This usually needs to be completed within 90 days before filing. Cost is usually built into the filing fees or sometimes an additional $50 to $100. Week 2 to 3. File the petition. Your attorney, or if you are filing yourself, drafts the petition for adoption. Includes all supporting documents, file with the county court, and pay the filing fee. Weeks 3 to 6. Home study if required. Some states require a social worker to visit your home, interview both parents, interview the child if they're old enough, write a report recommending the adoption. Most states waive this for second parent adoptions where you've been living together for a year or more. Weeks 8 to 12. Court hearing. You and your partner attend. The child too, if old enough. The judge asks a few questions to confirm everything's in order. In some streamlined states like California, the hearing can be waived entirely for certain cases. The whole thing usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes. Same day or within 1 to 2 weeks, final decree. The judge signs the final adoption decree. This is the golden ticket, the court order that's recognized nationwide. Weeks 12 to 16, updated birth certificate. After the decree is finalized, you request an updated birth certificate showing both parents. This usually costs around $10 to $20 per certified copy. Definitely get multiple copies. Total timeline? 1 to 4 months for most uncontested cases. When should you start this? Best time is starting the paperwork before your baby is born. You can't file until after birth, but having everything ready means you can file immediately after the birth certificate is issued. Don't wait. The longer you wait, the more time there is for something to go wrong. A relationship breakdown, a medical emergency, a legal challenge. Get it done when your child is an infant, if possible. But it's never too late. I've seen families do second parent adoptions when kids are 5, 10, even 15 years old. It still provides protection. Do you need an attorney? Real talk here. You can technically do this by yourself, but here's when you absolutely should hire an LGBTQ plus family law attorney. Hire one if you're unmarried. The process is way more complex. If your state does not have clear second parent adoption laws, if you used a known donor, not an anonymous sperm bank, if there's another possibility of the donor or the biological relative contesting, if you want it done right the first time. DIY might work if you're married and your state has a streamlined forms available. If it's also uncontested, straightforward case, and you're comfortable with legal paperwork. I am not. Most family law attorneys offer free consultations, so take advantage of that. Once the adoption is finalized, the non biological parent has equal decision making authority for education, healthcare, religion. The child becomes your legal heir with inheritance rights. The child can also access benefits through your Social Security and insurance, which is awesome. You get full custody rights in case of a divorce decided by best interests of child, not biology. Your parental rights cannot be undone. Adoption is permanent. And you get legal recognition in all 50 states under the full faith and credit clause of the Constitution. This is the legal foundation your family needs. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this feels pretty unnecessary. We're married, we're both on the birth certificate, we're both listed as parents on the school forms. I get it. It feels redundant. It feels like the government's making you jump through hoops to prove you're a parent to the child that you have already been raising. But here's the thing. LGBTQ plus families have always had to use the law to protect themselves. Before marriage equality, couples used contract law, estate planning, creative legal strategies. Using the law is not new. It's smart. And right now, in this political climate, smart families are protecting themselves before they need it. Your action plan. If you're already pregnant or planning to have a child soon, find an LGBTQ plus family law attorney in your state, even just for a consultation. Get the donor agreement reviewed by your attorney. Start gathering documents. Then, immediately after birth, file the petition for second parent adoption. Get it done within the first few months. If you already have children and haven't done this week, schedule a consultation with an LGBTQ plus family law attorney. Ask about your state's specific requirements. Find out if you even qualify for fee waivers. This month, begin the process. Don't wait for someday. Do it now while everything is stable. Look, I know this video covered some uncomfortable topics. Nobody wants to talk about the worst case scenarios with their kids. But here's what I want you to take away. Second parent adoption isn't about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. It's about making sure that if something goes wrong, like a medical emergency, a legal challenge, a political shift, that your family is protected. You planned for this child. You fought to create your family. Now take one more step to make sure that the law recognizes what you already know to be true. You're both parents, equally, permanently, no matter what. The cost is manageable. The timeline is reasonable. And the peace of mind, priceless. I'll put the links in the description to Family Equality's state-by-state guide, National Center for Lesbian Rights Legal Resources, LGBTQ plus family law attorney directories by state, and some questions to ask during your attorney consultation. If this helped you understand second parent adoption, hit that like button and subscribe for more LGBTQ plus money and legal content that actually makes sense. And if you've been going through this process and going through it now, drop a comment. This community helps each other. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Take care of yourselves and your families. I'll see you in the next video.